Are immigrants to the West, like myself, deluded? Are we suffering from a bad case of illusion of inclusion syndrome? And we cannot see that we are merely being tolerated in our new countries of Canada, US, UK, Australia, etc.? Stay with me to discuss this very interesting topic in today's video. I was at a lunch gathering the other day at work, and I looked around, and 90% of us at that lunch were first-generation immigrants. There was myself, there were 2 other Nigerians, there were some people from India, some people from China, some people from Russia, and of course there were born and bred Canadians as well. So in this kind of gathering, would you say that I was merely being tolerated, or that the people there could care less about me? Hello everyone, my name is Diekola. I am a Canadian immigrant who has lived in Canada for over 20 years. Welcome back to this side of life. And if you're new here, welcome, and thank you all for joining me today. So back to our topic of the delusion of illusion of inclusion by immigrants to the West, like myself. Is it a myth or is it the truth? I know a first-generation Nigerian immigrant who is a vice president in the largest bank in Canada. I also know a first-generation Indian immigrant who is the CIO of one of the largest energy transportation companies in Canada and in North America. So these 2 people are people who have authority in their organizations, and they can make decisions that shape the direction of their organizations. These decisions may even impact Canada or even North America as a whole. Would you say that these people are being tolerated and are suffering from an illusion of inclusion? Or what about a first-generation Nigerian immigrant who owns one of the biggest law firms in Alberta? Or our previous justice minister, who is also an immigrant from Nigeria, a first-generation immigrant? Are all these people merely being tolerated in Canada? I feel like these are deep questions that we need to ask ourselves and truthfully find answers to. And today, I will share a few of my thoughts about this topic. The first thing I think is that as human beings, everybody agrees that we all kind of have one origin. I mean, if you go way back to the beginning, to creation, we all came from the same source. So that means that as human beings, we originated from the same source. So we are all related, and there is no difference. The old 6 degrees of separation. And the last I checked, in heaven, there's no black or white, there's no Jew or Greek. We are all going to be the same. So why do we discriminate here? For me, the impact you make on your world is what is important, not your location. It doesn't matter whether you're in Canada, you're in UK, you're in China, India, Brazil, Nigeria, Kenya, wherever you are. What is your impact? How are you making life better for the people around you? That is what matters the most. How are you making the world a better place for the people around you? And the second thought that I have about this is in the area of culture and the way of life. I agree that we have, even though, like I said, we all originated from the same place, but we have different cultures and way of life. But you know what? We can learn from each other. When we talk about racism, tribalism, nepotism, nobody is exempted. I think these days, people are really trying to treat other people equally. I see a lot of efforts from governments around the world trying to push diversity and inclusion. And even in corporate organizations, there's a lot of employee resource groups that are working towards, diversity and inclusion within the employee population. Normally, human nature is to flock together with similar people like ourselves. So the responsibility lies with each and every one of us to make that effort and intentionally work on including other people that are not like us in our group so that we can work together to make this world a better place as much as we can. And it would also be great if we could stop pointing fingers at other people, saying they are the ones that are not being inclusive. there's an adage that says when you point a finger to somebody like this, the remaining 4 fingers are actually pointing at you. So are you inclusive, or are you just tolerating the people who are not like you? Are you including them in your circle? Are you making the effort to reach out to people who are not like you, to treat them the same way as you would treat people that are like you? Yeah, these are some of the questions that we need to ask ourselves. And finally, as I always say, as a man thinks in his heart, so we say. Some people see negativity everywhere. We need to have a positive mindset, whether we are in our home country or we are immigrants to another country. We need to pull up our bootstraps and do whatever it takes to make the best of life wherever we find ourselves. The fact is that there's discrimination everywhere. Racism, tribalism, ageism, different ways by which people discriminate against other people. The fact is also that 80% of people everywhere are kind people, they are good people, and it's only the 20% that are the bad apples. So let us stop focusing on the 20%. Let us focus on the 80%. And while the world is trying to work on loving one another and including one another and treating each other equally, don't let that impact your plan or God's plan for your own life. Yes, we can, right? Yes, no good thing comes easy. We have to fight for it. We have to fight to get what we want from this world. We have to fight to create a better place for ourselves, for our children, as much as we can. Let us fight the good fight. And I wish everybody the best in their fight. Don't be a constant complainer or grumbler. Play your own little part. Do whatever you can in your own little corner to make the world a better place, to make the world a more inclusive place. Don't be pointing the fingers at other people, but look into yourself and see what are you doing to make the world a more inclusive, a more equitable place, and a better place for every one of us to live in, and also to live for our children as much as we can while we are still here. So that's it for today. That's just a little bit I wanted to talk about today. But before you go, let me know, what do you think? What do you think about this topic? Is it a myth or a truth that immigrants suffer from the illusion of inclusion? And what are your thoughts about that? Let's have a discussion in the comment section below. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know whenever I upload new videos. Until the next time I come your way again, until the next video, you go out and make it the best days of your life. Bye.